everyone, this is Studio X, and in this video I will be showing you how to create a simple, smooth zoom-in transition inside of Premiere. So the first step is to open up Adobe Premiere Pro, and I have two clips here. One is the footage from farther away, and another one is a shot that's close up to the center of this frame. So let's take our footage and throw it into a new sequence. I'm going to go in and right click on it and unlink the sound from the video just because I don't need the sound. I'm going to find and trim the video to the lengths that I need. So this seems about right. And I'm going to move it over. Then I'm going to find the other footage that I have and trim it as well, and throw it on top of the other footage, so onto a layer above it. Then I'm going to right click and unlink the sound as well and delete that. So here we have two clips that are starting to overlay each other. So now the goal here is to try to match them up. So let's get our clip right here and double click on it. Go into Effect Controls and change the opacity. Click this keyframe to uncheck it, that way you're not keyframing it right now, and set it to 50%. So the next step that we have here is we are going to need to create a smooth like a smooth border around it, because when we zoom it out, you see that it's cropped basically. So in order to do that, I'm just going to hide the layer below it, and you can go into Effects and you can type in Replicate. So take it on, throw it on here, and set the count to 3. So as you can see, now you have 3 of these clips, but you see a clear border on them. So now what you need to do is type in Mirror into the effects and drop it on. So now you just need to move over on the x-axis until the frame touches the corners. So as you can see, now it's a smooth blend. Now you can just copy and paste the mirror effect, change it to 90 degrees, or actually 180 because you're about to do the other side, and move it over. And once again, just try to align it, that way you don't see a clear border. Perfect. Then you can duplicate the mirror effect once again. This time change the degrees to 90 and move it on the y-axis. Perfect. And duplicate it one more time. Set the angle to -90 and move it up. Perfect. That looks great. So now that we have that out of the way, we need to set the scale to 300% because that sets it back to the original size, because we started with 1 and we made 3 duplicates of it. So by making it 3 times, you throw it back into its full original frame. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move forward in time around 10 frames. So I'm at 4:14. So I'm going to be at 5 seconds exactly. And I'm going to keyframe the scale and position as well as the opacity. Then I'm going to enable my layer 1 here, which is the zoomed out version. And I'm going to move to the beginning and start zooming it back out. So I think around 45 is where it should be in my case. And then you can start moving this here to try to align it with the other elements that are in the shot. So that is looking pretty good. Next thing you need to do is click on the layer below and keyframe scale, position, and opacity. There we go. And move 10 frames in time forward. There we go. And zoom in just until it fills up the frame and position it over to try to match it with the other shot. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to resemble the other image pretty closely. That looks great. So if you play it forward now, oh, and change the opacity to 0. And on the other one, keep the opacity at 100. And then at the beginning, set it to 0. So now when you're playing it through, you can see that it's zooming in. And it looks pretty smooth. So now to cover up all the little mistakes around, what you can do is you can go into the effects and type in blur and get a simple directional blur. Apply it to the first layer and at the beginning. Keyframe the blur length at 0. And by the end, keyframe it at around 6. 6 should be good. And now for the other one, at the end, also throw the directional blur. And at the end, keep it 0. And at the beginning, make it 6. So now when you're playing it through, you can see it blurs it in. So I'm actually going to change the opacity a little bit because you start seeing this frame a little too early. So I think over here, that's when I'm going to make my opacity start moving in. Perfect. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other clip. So I'm just going to try to match where the opacity starts and ends. Perfect. So here it is. Here is how you get the smooth transition of zooming in inside Adobe Premiere. So you can use a similar technique and redo it in any other editing software of your choice. It can be Final Cut or whatever other editing software that you use. So I hope this tutorial was helpful and you learned something new. This is just a simple trick and you can use it in many different ways. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and please subscribe. See you in the next one.